went 21-2, I think, 3 years ago in Ottawa. Tremendous story. Has battled hip injuries. Told us yesterday he had hip surgery before last season, and finally, for the first time in a couple years, really feels physically like he's coming into the season at 100%. And the guy who played in 3 Stanley Cup playoff games for Colorado last year can't really go wrong. If he's going to end up being the guy down in Iowa, we've seen it far too many times here in Minnesota. You're going to need 3 goalies. At some point in the season, there's going to be injuries. Guys are going to be tired. Guys are going to be ineffective. You're going to need 3 goalies. Andrew Hammond, at the contract they have him at, pennies on the dollar. Why not take a shot? You know he's going to be solid down in Iowa. They're going to need him probably at some point this year. Don't you agree?
I do agree. Now, last question. What is your Twitter handle?
At Dan Myers, Myers. We got to spell it right, Kevin.
Yep. Just
like the city in Florida, everyone puts the extra E in there. It's very annoying. At
Dan Myers. No numbers. That's just
no numbers. That's it. Thanks to Zach Halverson for finally getting me all figured out with that. No numbers. That stinks.
I am at FSN Gorg, and the reason I bring it up is we're going to send out our fantasy thoughts throughout the week, some point spread opinions, and we're going to certainly get you some Wild steam, as Dan will be in Winnipeg tonight with what he sees from the Wild during the preseason. Final thing, along with our Twitter handle, is we're going to put out the name of the show. We want our fans, our listeners, the people that are with us on this show that love fantasy, that love the Minnesota Wild, to help us name the show. 2 names we bantered around this morning on the way to the rink: Frozen Fantasy and Life is Just a Fantasy, of course, from Aldo Nova's one-hit wonder in the 80s, which I think is one of the greatest lead-ins to any fantasy show on the planet. But Life is Just a Fantasy, Frozen Fantasy, or something better, because we can't just go Gorg and Myers or Myers and Gorg. That's boring.
Yeah, don't tell that to Russo and Suhan. But
well, we don't want to disrespect those guys. Those are big.
We'll disrespect
those are big
Michael
dogs
Russo.
In this.
We'll disrespect Michael
Russo.
We do plenty of that.
Right.
But when it comes to biting the hand that feeds you may not want to do that here.
We love Jimmy Suhan.
I love Jim Suhan. He's a great man. No, he is, and. This is a tremendous opportunity. I love Frozen Fantasy. I know you're partial.
I'm winning that way too. No, I'm partial to Frozen Fantasy with the hockey tie-in. So give us your thoughts. Send us, you can go to talknorth.com. You can go to either one of our Twitter handles, at Dan Myers, at FSN Gorg. We appreciate you guys being a part of the show. And if you want to send us questions throughout the week, we'll get to them week in, week out. We're going to talk all fantasy. We're going to talk some point spreads. We're going to talk some Wild hockey. A lot of times here from the Xcel Energy Center or from the road. For Dan Myers, I'm Kevin Gorg. Thanks for listening to the Gorg Myers Frozen Fantasy Production.